In this video, I'm kind of going back to my roots, and I'm going to be backpacking in a place that I spent a lot of time as a kid, and that is the Emigrant Wilderness. Now this is one of my favorite areas to go backpacking in the Sierra, because there's only a couple places in California that are still truly wild, and the Emigrant is one of them. So join me as I go on a quest to climb a remote mountain peak in the middle of nowhere, known as Kennedy Peak. Alright, so it's about 9 o'clock in the morning on June 22nd, 2024, and I am at the Kennedy Meadows trailhead at the edge of the Emigrant Wilderness, one of my favorite places to go backpacking, and I'm getting ready to head up to Kennedy Lake today, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to climb Kennedy Peak. And so on the way up, I noticed that there's no snow on the peaks, and so I am not going to bring my ice axe or my crampons, which is great because it's less weight for me to carry. So this morning I picked up my wilderness permit, which is self-issue at the ranger station, and it looks like it's gonna be a bright and beautiful day, so I am getting ready to head out on the trail. Alright, so here's our first look on the trail of my destination for tomorrow. This is Kennedy Peak we're looking at here. And it looks like there's hardly any snow on it, which is good. Although I am seeing a lot of snow on what I'm calling the Molo Cirque. This is Mount Molo over there. And then this is what I call the Molo Cirque. Alright, now I've got to find a way to get to that side of the stream, and I hope I can do it without getting my feet wet. Alright, so I need to find a place to cross the river, and I found this place right here. Probably the easiest place to cross. A little deeper over there. And so I got my pack ready, I got my shoes, my boots really, attached to the outside, and so here I go. And in case anybody's wondering like why I don't just cross like in my boots, and that's because my boots are waterproof, which means they're gonna hold water in and out. So if I had like more breathable tennis shoes, then it wouldn't be a big deal because they would just dry out. But with waterproof boots, they don't dry out. And then you end up with trench foot, which is something I don't want. And this is something I wish I had Crocs for in retrospect. But I thought there would be a crossing. I thought there would be like a rock crossing. It's not a big deal. actually feels kind of nice. Okay, so I made it to the tent where I'm relatively safe from the bugs. Now I'm getting ready to make dinner. And you know what? I can smell dinner being made by the other camps. And guess what? They're horse people. And you know how I know they're horse people? Because they have all kinds of luxury items with them, and they have horses. And I don't like horse people. Let me tell you why I don't like horse people. Reason number one, they haven't earned it. There's nothing hard about sitting on a horse and letting the horse carry you to a campsite. Reason number two, they're disgusting, okay? They leave stuff on the trail and they don't pick it up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, that would be too much work. That's so much work. Boo-hoo, okay? You have a dog, you pick up after your dog. You have a horse, you should pick up after your horse. Rant over. All right, let's have a closer look here at Kennedy Peak. And this is the north face we're looking at. Quite a nice looking face. Very steep. Couple jagged spires on the left over there, and then a couloir right there. But tomorrow I'm going to be heading up the west ridge, which is right there where the shadow's at. So this is the summit of Kennedy Peak. That's Molo Mountain over there. All right, so it's about 7:30 in the morning and I just made it to the top of Kennedy Peak. All right, so here's a look at some of the peaks around this area. And I'm really fascinated by this one right here. I don't think it has a name, but I mean, that thing is very steep. And then moving over this way, we have Molo Mountain. And then over this way, we have, you know, some of the more high Sierra stuff. Still a lot of snow up there. Alright, so let's have one more look at the summit area here on Kennedy Peak. It's very typical of a summit in this area to have these little blocks here like this. And this is looking towards my campsite, which is down there. That's Kennedy Lake. And this right here is the north face. And that's the west ridge. That's where I came from. You know, and here we have this really spectacular area. I don't know what to call this. I call it the Molo Cirque, but it's just really beautiful. And that's Molo Mountain right there. Just a gorgeous area, man. And nobody ever comes here. Alright, so I made it back to civilization, and now I want to show you a couple things here on the map. Alright, so this right here is the trailhead, and then you do kind of a road walk and hike past Kennedy Meadows Resort, which is where you're going to see like a lot of city people recreating. And you hike along this river here, and then you get to kind of like the proper trailhead, and then you hike up this hill here, and you're going to make a turn here onto the Kennedy Lake Trail. This is a pretty flat trail. It's a great beginner hike, I'd say, if you're looking for a fun overnight backpacking trip. And then you follow this trail until you get to, well, you actually have to cross the river, as you've seen in my video, because all the campsites are on this side of the river. There are no campsites on this side, and you don't want to camp at Kennedy Lake because it's really boggy and kind of a gross lake, in my opinion. And so I ended up camping somewhere around, I guess it was around here somewhere. And in the morning, I hiked up this hill here and made my way along, I guess it's actually the northwest ridge. I've been calling it the west ridge. Anyway, I went up this way and made it to the top of Kennedy Peak. So the great thing about the Emigrant is that it's not super crowded like Yosemite is. And the deeper you get into it, the more and more wild it becomes. If you're talking about a place with an abundance of wildlife and beautiful lakes to go swimming in, the Emigrant is the place for you. So thanks for joining me as I went on this adventure to climb Kennedy Peak. Stay tuned and happy trails.